Yeah, so again, Chicago Tribune, December 23rd, up to $100 billion stolen from relief funds. For the COVID relief funds, up to, they say up to $100 billion. Might be more than that. All these false claims people have put in, they let people do that because people think they're getting away with something, right? I mean, you just saw here, those of you who privy watch the news on a regular basis, you just saw this Caucasian lady named Holmes, right, with that Thanos or whatever it's called, Thanos or something. You understand? You understand? They let her go for years. You follow what I'm saying? And look how much the multi-millions, I think it might have been a billion something dollars, she supposedly stole. You understand what I mean? With these false claims about, analyzing blood and all this. They let her go, and they say this is a regular occurrence how they let these people go. They say that Apple boy, Steve Jobs, he did that. Made these claims about, but he eventually brought it through. See, you understand? So about this, internet and whatnot. He eventually covered himself, but you understand this Holmes didn't. So now they just convicted her. She looking at 20 years at least in the joint. You follow me? Plus a big fine. You know they're gonna drop a big fine on them, try to recover as much as they can. You understand what I'm saying? But they get these people who invest in this stuff on a you understand, hearsay, right? But if you don't cover yourself, if you don't come through with what you make claims about in the future, right? You understand what I mean? They're gonna come down on you like they did on this Holmes. You follow me? So now they let people come and put in these, you understand, applications for this pandemic money, and they let them get so much money. Different ones get so much, right? But if they investigate you later on, and you're not what you claim, then they're gonna convict you. You got to restore that money, and you probably do some time, all depending on how much money it is, right? So they say up to $100 billion stolen from relief funds, right? Nearly $100 billion at minimum has been stolen from COVID-19 relief programs set up to help businesses and people who lost their jobs due to the pandemic, right? This is U.S. Secret Service said. Okay, see, so again, just like his argument, grim holidays I call them, in Venezuela. Government's move to ease price controls threatens the celebrated extraños tradition. See, well, again, that's a good thing. That's from Yah too, because they end the day idolatry. That's why what's happening to them is happening to them. Because I know a lot of them Venezuelans is Israelites. I'm not saying all. Or some of them I know is out of Esau. Because Esau done made babies with everybody, and so did the Spanish and the French and the English, right? And the Dutch and the Portuguese. You understand? And we know that these are your colonizers, right? But I know a lot of them Venezuelans is Israelites. You follow me? And they're over there in their idolatry, huh? As well as the heathens in their idolatry as well, right? See, this is the thing with the sword. Y'all moving the sword because of what's in their heart. You follow me? With the pandemic, it's attacking the people of the world. This ain't just Israel. Now, like I said in the past, when Bertrand Russell said that in 1900, the Illuminists, and he was 28 years old in 1900, he said we got to get ready to get rid of these useless eaters. 3 to 4 years after they saw, you understand, the seal had come off the book, and you get Israelites starting to awake to the fact that they Israel. William Crowder in New York, 1896, right? You follow me? Well, as I said, we at the top of that list to get rid of the useless eaters. You follow me? But now they want to get rid of many people of different nationalities because they got machines. Because you got, as it says in the first vision Daniel got, which is over there from 1136 to 1210 Daniel in what's called chapter 12. That's the first vision Daniel got. We know that now, right? What did Gabriel, who was dressed in linen, standing on the water, say to Daniel? Go thy way, Daniel, for the book is sealed to the time of the end. The end meaning the end of these 4 dominions of man. When the world gets down into these feet and toes, part iron, part clay. Okay? The diversified dominion. And so what did he say? Men shall run to and fro. Knowledge is going to be increased. Not just with, you understand, because we know the seal coming off the book at some point, the Israelites who hungry, who thirsty for the truth, for righteousness, equity, for salvation, who's looking for the true and living creator, who's hungry for peace. You follow me? Who want to stop the rats and the mice and the roaches and the bed bugs, and the cancer. You follow me? And the liver disease and you know what I mean, heart disease and all of the problems, the botch. You understand what I mean? And everything, all the curse. Want to stop that curse? That's what it amounts to, right? You're gonna be looking for Yah in some shape, form, or fashion. Well, they're gonna be led to Yah. But again, everybody that you understand of the children of Israel, because you understand, Yah has to be established through his saints, but also the children of Israel, but specifically he has to be established through the descendants of Jerusalem. And again, I ain't asking you to take my word. Just go over there to Ezekiel 16 and read that. That's why he said he got a special covenant with Jerusalem. That's why he's not going to allow any, you understand, Israelite who's not of the descendant of Jerusalem to establish him. And he's not going to allow any of the descendants of Jerusalem who's not totally committed and submitted to him with all their heart and soul, male, female, young or old, to come back with him in his return to Jerusalem in the sight of all the inhabitants of the earth at Yah's consecration anointing by his holy name. You understand? And his laws, statutes, orders, judgments, commandments, precepts. If you're not totally committed and submitted to Yah with all your heart and soul, if you're not putting Yah first all of the time, then you're not coming back with the Jerusalem movement. And I don't care who you think Yah are. You can't preclude Yah. You can't get around Yah. He will purge you out. Simple as that. Now, you can come into maybe the second gather, the last one, see, but you ain't going to come back with him on his return to Jerusalem, because like I said before, if you understand Yah's word, right, if he were to let you come back with him, because you've got some over there around the land, they ain't in the land, they might be there when Jerusalem movement comes, when the Edomites get run out, they probably come up into the land. Because they around over there in Egypt, maybe Syria or whatever. You understand, Jordan. But they'll come up into land when the Edomites get run out and judged. But if you're not really committed to Yah, if your heart is not circumcised to Yah, the foreskin of your heart, then 26:10 Yeshaya applies. When Jerusalem movement comes back and is set in the midst of its sisters to be a comfort unto them, we're going to do the same thing that Moshe did. All those about Yah come unto us. And you got to make a decision. And you're going to have different Israelites and people who are going to say, oh, we're about Yah, but really they're not going to be. And that's when we get attacked by these Assyrians, when we get to dismantling, destroying all the idols and images in Jerusalem, cleansing Jerusalem, because Jerusalem has to be totally cleansed of idolatry before this third and last temple of Yah can begin to be even the foundation laid, before it can begin to be built. When that attack happens, if you're not really about Yah, you're going to get taken out. You're going to be part of that 2/3. Zechariah chapter 13. That's taken out of the land. That's Yeshaya 26:10. Let favor be shown to the wicked. You understand? In the land of uprightness, and yet they will still not learn righteousness. Okay? See, because you got different Israelites. I've experienced it already here. You understand? Time and again, I keep telling you, I didn't experience a lot of this already, right? You got different ones who think, you understand, meekness is weakness, and it's not. See, meekness is humbleness, humility, but it ain't weakness. Okay? You follow me? So, you got some who put on and act like they about Yah. You understand? And again, people can do that when they in the distance. See, but when you get up close, and it don't take no real long time to see somebody, because y'all gonna reveal them. Like I said, the closer they get to that, to the core of that light, that you understand, it's gonna reveal you. You can't hide. Simple as that. Chicago Tribune, December 24th, ex-Minnesota cop guilty of manslaughter. Right? That's that Potter. Right? And again, here's the FDA, Federal Drug Administration, clears Merck's pill. They got a pill now for treating COVID-19, right? They call it molnupiravir, all right? Only okay for high-risk adults with virus, right? So they got a pill that you can pop. So they know most people don't want to take a shot. They'll pop a pill, right? You follow me? I tell you, the nonsense does not stop. Okay. Chicago Tribune, December 24th. In dry India, a drive to get taps in every home. Modi, halfway, that's the president of India, halfway done muscling through an ambitious water plan. The pipes are laid, the taps installed, and the village tank is under construction, all promising signs that come spring, YHWH will get water at her doorstep and finally shed a lifelong burden. She says, this YHWH, I go out and put the jerry cans in the quay at around 5 a.m. and wait there with the children. YHWH, a mother of 3 who lives in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh, said about her routine of fetching from the village hand pump. Sometimes it could take 5 or 6 hours. I have to stay there because if I leave, someone else moves ahead. India, one of the world's most water-stressed countries, is halfway through an ambitious drive to provide clean tap water by 2024 to all of the roughly 192 million households across its 600,000 villages. About 18,000 government engineers are overseeing the $50 billion undertaking, which includes hundreds of thousands of contractors and laborers who are laying more than 2.5 million miles of pipe. Okay? But they're water stressed. And again, Yah dries up the water. You see that? That's the sister. Okay? That's her. Well, it just says a woman fills water containers in Imiladal, India, where water scarcity limits crops. And that's Yah drying up the pools. Yeshaya chapter 42. That's a sign. Okay? For all those who's looking for signs who don't see any. Chicago Tribune, December 24th. Execs exiting cushy tech jobs for the call of cryptocurrency. Okay, when Sandy Carter left her job as the vice president of Amazon's cloud computer unit this month, she announced in a LinkedIn post that she was joining a crypto technology company. She included a link for open positions at the startup. Now I'm going to cut to the chase. Pretty much, let me read this. It says, crypto, which has also been rebranded as the less foreboding Web3, may be no different from past speculative bubbles like subprime mortgages or the tulip craze of the 17th century. Skeptics said much of the mania, they said, was being driven by a desire to get rich quick by trading an asset class that often seemed based on internet jokes. Okay? Isn't that what I said in the past? You understand? It's an investment cryptocurrency. You hope you can get in at a level, and others come in above you, like Peter Schiff said. You get more fools that come in, drive the price up, and then, it get up there so high. If you smart, you come on out and take their money and come on out with it, right? You take that, you understand? You cash in the crypto, you get some more paper again, and then you take that paper, and you better be running trying to get you some gold or silver or gold. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe even some copper. Something that's going to hold its value. so that you don't sit there and watch your value dissipate. You understand? Like I said in the past, like water in a pot with a flame up under it. Right? You know, you put water in the pot and it's got a flame up under it. All you got to do is wait so long, pretty soon that water going to evaporate and the pot will be empty. And that's what it is with paper. That's what it is with, you understand what I mean, with crypto. I mean, it ain't nothing. You ain't got nothing. It's an investment. Now check this out. Those leaving behind a big tech salary do not have to wait as long for a payoff at a crypto startup as those at traditional tech startups. While employees generally accept a smaller salary at tech startups in the hope that the company's stock will hit it big one day, workers at crypto startups are provided liquidity or the ability to cash out their shares much earlier. Often they can do so in the form of trading their company's cryptocurrencies, according to Dan McCarthy, a recruiter for investment firm Paradigm, who has written on the potential upsides of crypto startups for tech workers. In some cases, crypto startups offer compensation packages on par with the biggest tech firms because of how easily employees can convert their company's tokens or the underlying cryptocurrency backing the startup into cash, right? So again, they get into crypto, but they at some point convert it into paper, and the paper's collapsing, right? Then they better run and try to get something that's going to hold its value, right? So they know crypto's hot with a lot of these, you know, what they call them, millennials and these newer generations, right? Because they don't see no way how they going to make no money with these low-paying jobs. You follow me? Okay, Chicago Sun-Times. December 26th. Secret Service, nearly $100 billion stolen in pandemic relief fund. Okay, right? And they say or more in that other article, right? Okay, Chicago Sun-Times. December 26th, Space Telescope launched on daring quest to behold first stars. And this is some propaganda nonsense here, right? They supposedly spent $10 billion on an observatory hurtled toward its destination 1 million miles away. Now, you know that's a lie, because the dome is not 1 million miles high above the earth. So that's a lie. That's just some more propaganda. You understand? To keep your mind occupied with some nonsense. Okay? Spending tidbits, so they claim, on a telescope. Telescope. Got all these people down here needing help, and they $10 billion supposedly on a telescope, sending it up in the air, right? Come on, you understand? Now, explain to me, how can they send the telescope, think about it, 1 million miles up into the air, right? 1 million miles is what I just read, right? But here it is. William Shatner, the Star Trek boy, right? Since he gone up, that boy Michael Strahan used to play football. He supposedly went up, right? Bezos went up. What's that other boy's name? I can't think of, Averson or something. He went up, but they only went up for like about 8 to 10 minutes. Right? That's as far as they can go. They come back down. But the telescope, they supposedly sent 1 million miles away. Yeah, a bunch of nonsense, right? Chicago Tribune, right? December 27th. And remember what I read last session, what Prince William said, right? You understand? Two places removed from the throne in you know, the throne in England, right? The Windsors. You understand? What did he say? You know, it's ridiculous. Wasting money. People need help down here. You need to be taking that money that you spending going up into space, into the air for 8 to 10 minutes on the people down here that need help. See, William got the right mindset. You follow me? Now that's Charles' son. So maybe Charles taught him that. Maybe Charles got the right mindset, right? You understand? We know Elizabeth has not, right? We know that. Now, she might change since y'all took you understand, Philip out, right? Who wants to come back as a virus to kill folks, right? And show you what, you understand. And again, Philip's mother was an Edomite from what I understand. So he was raised like an Edomite, right? Again, December 27th, right? Chicago Tribune. Israeli to expand settlements in Golden Heights. The Edomites, like I just mentioned earlier, they expanded settlements in the Golden Heights, right? This is under this Naphtali Bennett, right? Okay. They want to invest $300 million in developing the Golden Heights. Okay. The Edomites captured the Golden Heights in 1967, right? The 4-day war that they call the 6-day war, right? And they later annexed the territory, promoting settlement and agriculture there, as well as creating a thriving local tourism industry. Yeah, right. Okay. And they say some 50,000 people live in the Golden Heights. Roughly half are Jewish Israelis or Jews, right? The rest, they say, it basically is Druze, the Druze, right? Chicago Tribune, December 28th. Did this do what we thought it would do? Some people face eviction even after getting COVID-19 rental assistance. Okay, even though they got some of that $100 billion money, you understand what I mean? Or more, they still facing eviction. Because like I said, once you get behind, and they some 6, 7, 8, 9 months behind, even if you get some rental assistance money, as soon as you get it, you owe all these bills, it's gone. Okay, now what you gonna do? You probably didn't even catch up with the assistance money that you got, right? You still behind on different things. So now, how you gonna make it after the money stop? So that's why they say, did this do what we thought it would do? Right? And the only reason people had that thought, because that was inseminated into them by the puppets, the presidents, where I just read the 10th protocol. The puppets. And not only the president, but the Senate, right? The parliaments. You follow me? The ministers, they all puppeteered by the illuminated Edomite. Remember, again, that protocols was written 1783. Okay? And they put that into play because they got the dominion. And it took them a while, but they got it into play. And they've had the dominion now over 100 years from what I see. And that's the fulfillment of Genesis 27. See? But now their dominion as the 4th dominion, diversified dominion, and all the other 3 dominions on top of it is crumbling. Daniel chapter 2. Because the stone is hid. That's what you see over my right shoulder here. The stone is hit, right? When the monarchies got sprinkled in September 2004, the stone had hit. It still was hidden, you understand, in August 2006, when y'all lifted himself up, when the Edomites was hewing Lebanon down. That's 2 signs right there for those who's knowledgeable in the word of Yah. Okay, prophecies fulfilled right then. September 04, July, August 2006. Okay? Yeshaya 52, the first one, the latter, Yeshaya 33. Yah lifted himself up. Himself. Okay? And this is the name wherewith he shall be called, Yah, our righteousness. I didn't write the book, but that is the book. Is it not? That's prophecy. Chicago Tribune, December 28th. Destruction, death, and storms wake. Okay, now this is out of the Philippines. Again, and remember what I said. You got a brother who said the Philippines is really Israel. Okay, I'm in total disagreement, but that's what he brings me. Also, the Jews studying effectiveness of possible 4th vaccine dose. Now, this is the Israeli hospital Monday began a study to test the safety and effectiveness of a 4th dose of COVID-19 vaccine as health officials continue to deliberate over rolling out 4th shots for vulnerable people nationwide. Okay? And now, like I just said, this came across. Now, this was December 28th in the paper, so this is before December 28th, the Edomites shooting people in the land, you understand, a fourth shot. And I just said this morning, you understand, this is January the 5th, 2022, and on the BBC News, and the newscaster asked, you understand, the representative for the vaccine, you know, he said, how long are we going to have to keep taking these shots? We're going to have to take a shot every 6 months? And the representative said, well, you're going to probably have to take the shot, you know, over the next so many years, a shot, at least one shot every year. Okay? Because the newscast was like, is this ever going to end? Okay? Chicago, let me see, did I get all of this? Wait a minute, let me, so I forgot to do something that I just, yeah, okay. So now, Chicago Tribune, December 28th, half of rental relief undistributed. Meanwhile, tenant evictions occur each day in Lake County. Okay, they say residential evictions are occurring at the rate of 1 or 2 a day in Lake County, that's here, you know, Illinois, since enforcement of judgments began a few months ago, and at the same time, more than half the money allocated for rental relief remains undistributed. So now, you know, they supposedly got this money for rental relief, but they're not, half of it hasn't been distributed. Okay? Now, so again, thousands of flights axed as virus hits airline crews. As Omicron fuels cancellations, Fauci eyes vaccine mandate for domestic travel. See, now Fauci, Anthony Fauci, he done put forth that to fly a plane, you should have been vaccinated. If you haven't been vaccinated, you can't fly. That's what he wants to put forth. See, he already done introduced that thought, but it hasn't been embraced yet. But more than likely, it probably will come into play down the line. Okay? Because they trying to force people to take these shots. Okay? And you got people across the earth pushing back. That's why, again, you understand, the illuminated Edomites, the sword bearers, have put the earth under siege, locked down. Because they controlling, you know, the food chains to the greater extent, the super farms, right? That's why over the years they have systematically put the farmer out of business to the greater degree, right? They put mom and pop grocery store out of business, right? They've put the mom and pop warehouse, you know, not warehouse, but the hardware stores out of business. You know, you don't really have that anymore. It's chains, Home Depot, Menards, Walmart, you know, Walgreens, they carrying food, you know what I mean? See, Kroger's, Amazon that's controlling Whole Foods, right? Bezos then had now for about the last 5, 6, 7 years, 5, 6 years, 6, something like that. You follow me? See, so they've taken control of basically all the things that people need. So once they basically got that, they're already basically controlling the governments. So now, once they put forth this mandate, you got to, they tell everybody, you know what I mean? It's a virus going around. You got to take a shot. See? And so now people pushing back. I don't want to take no shot. Okay, well then you can't work. See? You can't go to the restaurant. You can't go to the theater. You can't go to the gym. You can't, and again, Fauci wants to make it, you can't ride an airplane unless you didn't have the vaccination. Right? What did I say earlier? You know, those of you who watch the news today, BBC News, or what's coming out of France, that Edomite president, Macron, and said he gonna make it hard on people who have not taken the vaccine. And that's their mind. See? So now, from the hella days, people going, you know, around worshiping their idols, grouping up, right? Eating their cakes and pies made to the Queen of Heaven. You know, Mary, the Queen of Heaven, right? You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying it like that because that's what we see in ancient times in the book of Remembrance. Our forefather Israel was doing and other nations was doing. That's how Israel got messed up. And basically Israel's still doing that same nonsense to this day, right? Thousands of flights axed as virus his airline crew. So again, I know you've heard, like we've heard, right? You got thousands and thousands and thousands of people across this country and in Europe that made the move to worship their idols wherever they went to do that, right? You understand? At the sacrifices to their idols, right? And now they stuck. They can't get back. Right? Also, Gaza's battery pileups leave health environment at risk. So, you understand, they got a problem in Gaza that's under siege by the Edomites, right? The Israelites, so-called Palestinians, who are really Israel, in the Gaza, under lockdown for the last, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? Matter of fact, 10 years, something like that, 12 years. They says the Gaza Strip, virtually every household in the Gaza Strip relies on batteries to keep their home running as a result of years of chronic power outages. These batteries, fueling everything from lights to internet routers to solar panels, have helped mitigate one crisis, but they are causing another one as huge mounds of old and used batteries pile up in a territory lacking the ability to safely dispose of them. There is a real danger that these batteries are collected and stored randomly in the open air, not in the warehouse. You follow me? Because they're letting out different gases and detrimental, sulfuric acid, right? So they ooze liquid, includes sulfuric acid, right? Leaks into the soil and eventually into the water. They say they got about 25,000 tons of old batteries piled up. You follow me? It's pitiful. See that? See that? Okay? You follow me? So now, you understand what? This is what I said again, Daniel chapter 2, right? All this stuff that's been created in these 4 dimensions of man got to go out with the 4 dimensions of man. You ain't going to have no batteries like that in the way of Yah, because that's harmful. You follow me? It's harmful. So, Chicago Sun-Times, December 29th, parole canceled for man convicted of killing Michael Jordan's father, right? So, this you understand, Larry Demery, who turned state's evidence on this other brother who got, charged with him for killing Michael Jordan's father, this boy named Green, because they ain't even thinking about letting Green out, this Daniel Green. Demery turned, and became a witness for the prosecution against Green. And then, by selling himself, right, you understand he's supposed to get out earlier, but they're not letting him out. He been trying to get out on parole. You understand? The initial release date was August 2023, but it was later pushed back by 12 months, right? So he's asking that, you understand, can he get out this year? And they you understand, they said no. And so his case won't be reviewed again till December 15, 2023. You follow what I'm saying? Because again, they never did tell the truth, the real truth about Michael Jordan's father's death. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Also, gunman kills 5 in targeted rampage in Denver. Many of you probably heard about that. See, people, this pressure's getting to them. We see it here in Chicago. We see it across the earth. This pressure, this lockdown, this siege, this chokehold that's gotten tighter. That Yah has moved the sword to put the people of the world in this chokehold. They've been in a chokehold, but now this chokehold has gotten, the grip has gotten tighter. See? And people, this pressure's mounting. They can't breathe, you understand, from the chokehold. You follow me? They being cut back from doing what they want to do. You see? So now, the people's popping off. You see it constantly. It's not, secluded or you understand, just with any certain people. It is different people in all different nationalities across the earth. Okay? Also, California Governor Mo's parole bid of RFK assassin Sirhan Sirhan. Now, Sirhan is Israelite, so-called Palestinian. And they didn't had him in jail since back there, 1968. And he didn't kill Bobby Kennedy Jr. Okay? Just like they just let those two out, you understand, who they claim killed Malcolm X back in 65, right? And then they just came out and said they didn't do the killing. Finally let them out because the brothers got suits in, on the authorities for locking them up all them years. You follow what I'm saying? But Sirhan didn't kill Bobby Kennedy Jr. Okay? Same people that killed JFK killed RFK. I know Bobby Kennedy Jr. knows that. See? Follow what I'm saying? Like I say, he trying to exonerate his family's history from all of the wrong his grandfather did. You did what I'm saying? And his father and his uncle. You understand what they did? He trying to do the right thing so far. Right? He trying to do right. See? Chicago, Suntan, December 29th. Former Illinois inmate could be first federal prisoner to have gender confirmation surgery. You understand what I mean? Now you got this guy, he want to be changed into a woman. So they gonna do that up in the prisons. And again, I've talked about this in the past. How they do this gender confirmation surgery. You understand, in these prisons. But this is gonna be the first federal prisoner to have it done to him. They've been doing it to these state prisoners. You understand? I tell you, this thing is crazy. Again, everything that's wrong, Esau is for. Everything that's right, he against. Right? Because he ain't never been about right. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, the only time we can kind of see Edomites kind of being about what's right is that boy in Genesis chapter 36, the Edomite that was named Ruel. And when we look up the definition for the name Ruel, it means friends with the strong. So, like I said earlier, I think in the last session, back in the past, is possibly maybe some of his descendants that Yah is going to allow to transition over into his dominion. You follow me? Because it's all about who's strong for Yah and how strong are they for Yah. Right? That's what we see. That's why, you understand, as I was having a conversation with Jacob and YHWH this morning, and YHWH, she brings up that 1 Chronicles chapter 5. Because again, what does it say there? The genealogy is not reckoned, you understand? It's the inheritance is not reckoned by the genealogy. Because the top and bottom line, it comes down to who is the strongest about Yah. Who has, you understand, with all their heart and soul, totally committed and submitted to Yah. In serving Yah, in being about Yah. In magnifying Yah, exalting Yah. Not sometime, not most of the time, but all the time. Who put Yah first all the time. Not themselves for any reason, you understand, that they think is big or petty. They don't put themselves before Yah. It's Yah first all the time. See, that's what I look for. That's what I watch for. Who's about Yah all the time? Who puts Yah first all the time? No matter what. When is even to your detriment, it might seem. But in actuality, how could it? If you understand. Okay? Chicago Sun-Times, December 29th, protecting the flock. Rabid COVID spread leads some churches to make virtual plans for New Year's Eve. What we want people to do during this time is to go get vaccinated. We want them to get their booster shots. We want them to wear their mask. We want them to do their best to protect their family and friends. Now, these is Israelites who's in idolatry, These preachers, ministers, who's preaching and ministering the lies and the deception, the myths that the illuminated Edomite has put out there. You understand what I'm saying? And they've taken hold of it, and now they promulgating. Look at that big empty monument edifice behind that you understand, jackleg at the top there. That's why they want Israelites to take the shot. That's why they want Israelites to get vaccinated, right? You see that? Because they're not getting any money. Now, how much electricity is that place using behind them, both of them, especially that place up at the top? How much is the electric bill? How much is the heat bill? How much is the water bill? How much is the mortgage? Or the taxes on that monument edifice? And when I say monument edifice, just go to chapter 65 Yeshaya. See, that's why they want the people to get vaccinated in the booster shot, so they come there and drop some money in the plate. That's why. You follow me? Now, not that they're concerned about their well-being. Okay? See, like I said, you understand? From the Pope all the way down to the jackleg with the monument on the corner in the middle of the block. One story talking about he been called. Calling his house of idol worship, whatever he calls it, after the idol, in connection to the idol of Christianity, or Islam, or Judaism. All religions, you understand, come out of the heart of a man or men. See? So that lets you know they have not actually sought Yah, because, you understand, what they claim, whether they into Judaism that spun out of Hasidism, they into Christianity, Islam, all three of those religions claim that they're serving the creator of Abraham. And that's a lie. All of them lying. I don't care what denomination, what faith, Quaker, whatever. Mormon, whatever. They all, you understand, Amish. Ain't none of them serving Yah at all. Okay? And any of them want to take an issue with me, we can sit down on a public venue. You understand what I'm saying? And they will be exposed. And so will Yah. But they will be exposed for the liars and the deceivers that they are. Also, attack in Syria. Firefighters contained a blaze that raged for hours in Syria's port of Latakla on Tuesday, officials said, hours after the Israeli Jews launched missiles from the Mediterranean Sea, igniting the fire in the container terminal. Okay? Edomites, shelling Syria, right? Also, Brazil flooding. A total of 116 cities in the northeastern Brazilian state of Bahia were in a state of emergency because of flooding on Tuesday due to heavy rains that have been pounding the region since the end of November. Okay, saying Bahia, flooding has affected more than 470,000 people. In at least 50 cities were water surged. Now, how you gonna fight Yah? Explain that to me. Okay, now, Chicago Tribune, December 29th, buying a car, take a hike. Vehicle buyers have had to travel hundreds of miles to find rides that they want. Okay, said in November, the average price of a new car was a record $45,872, up from $39,984. So that's like $6,000. That's inflation. I mean, the whole thing is inflation, but that's inflation just from a year ago, right? It says the average price paid for a used car is more than $29,000, up from $22,679 in 2020. So that's like almost a $7,000 rise for a used car. Okay? Now, that's inflation. Because they just printing paper. You understand what I'm saying? devaluing the paper that's, the fiat currency that's already out here. And they doing that all across the earth, not just here in America. Okay, because the Turkish lira done almost collapsed. It's shot. You understand what I'm saying? And in many other countries. You understand what I'm saying? You understand Italy? You know what I mean? Everywhere, the fiat currency is collapsing more and more and more and more and more. Okay? Okay, they say prices of U.S. homes climbed 18.4% in October. See, that's inflation. You follow me? See, so again, the whole thing is collapsing, and there's nothing that they can do about it. Between a rock and a hard place. Okay. Chicago Sun-Times, December the 30th. Socialite guilty. So Ghislaine Maxwell, Edomite, that was with Epstein, she was convicted on 5 out of 6 counts. But it still remains to be seen just how much time she gonna do. They say she's looking at 20 years or better, but we'll see, right? Or they might do the same thing like they trying to do now. Look like they're gonna do with Weinstein, like I said earlier, right? They saying, oh, it was a mess up in his conviction. That's what some judges in New York is saying, because they must have been paid off. So then now they trying to fix it with more than likely where they gonna let him out. See, so they might do something similar with Ghislaine Maxwell. You understand? She might end up maybe over somewhere in the island, you understand, drinking martinis and pina coladas with Epstein, because he might still not be dead. And who knows, Madoff might be sitting up there with him. You understand what I mean? Because I don't know if Madoff or Epstein is dead, really. Think about it. I mean, they could still be alive somewhere, hid out. Okay? I don't trust none of them. Okay, wait a minute. Let's see. I think and here's another one. Confronting the soaring suicide rate among America's young people. They say that the suicide rate among the youth of America is soaring. You see that? Okay? It's soaring high, because again, the youth, they really don't have any understanding. They get taught all this nonsense in these houses of miseducation. They get taken to the house of idol worship when they first come in the world. Their parents generally don't know what's going on, so they don't. They don't see any future for themselves, so they just go on and shoot up the heroin or the fentanyl or to drink themselves to death or shoot themselves in the head, or, you understand what I'm saying? Be on that crank or whatever that stuff, sniffing glue or whatever. I mean, they just don't see no hope, so they just go off the deep end. A lot of these Israelite youth are the same way. That's why they don't think nothing about killing somebody, carjacking, all that nonsense. All they doing is putting themselves further into the dark. You follow what I'm saying? Setting themselves up to be destroyed. Especially when they murder somebody. Okay? Simple as that. You understand? Because you're going to get recompense. Whatever you do, whether it's good or evil, you're going to be recompensed. There's no way you can get around that. The only way that you might be able to without a doubt, to stop that, again, Ezekiel chapter 18, in the sense of where you don't get recompense to the fullest extent. Because you didn't know the law. If you didn't know the law of Yah, right? Ezekiel 18 chapter, you come to Yah and you submit and you humble yourself and acknowledge your iniquity and pray and to Yah for forgiveness and mercy, and do all you can to serve Yah, to magnify Yah. Similar to like Moshe. He murdered the Egyptian. He didn't know the law of Yah. He knew he was Israel, but he didn't know the law of Yah. And then we see later on, after the 40 years, he went over, Yah guided him over into Midian. He hooked up with Jethro. Jethro, being a Midianite, was raised in that law. He taught that law to Moses. Moses learned that law, and Moses became more about the law than even Jethro. He became totally about the law. And then Yah, you understand? He extended him mercy. The only reason Moshe didn't go into the land is because he misspoke, dealing with knuckleheads, you understand, filled with obstinance and recalcitrance. You follow what I'm saying? Even when they saw the signs. See? Because you had many saw the signs that Yah brought through Moshe, right? And you understand? And Aharon, but still refused to see. Right? Just like you got those today. Y'all bring signs through this movement. Y'all right. I done named off a few of them in this session. right? Sign. But you still talking about, you got those who talking about, I'm waiting to see a sign. Okay? And sign right in front of them, they can't see it. All right? Now, Chicago Sun-Times, December 30th. Indiana governor pushes back on state attorney general's COVID skepticism. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb on Wednesday condemned recent comments made by the state's attorney general, who alleged that Indiana's COVID-19 data is inflated and inaccurate. Okay? Now that's the Indiana attorney general. Chicago Tribune, December the 30th. Unemployment expected to keep falling across U.S., but supply chain woes could push consumer prices higher in 2022. But that's also because of the failing fiat currency being inflated, right? Losing its buying power, right? And again, you understand, unemployment expected to keep falling across U.S., but they don't care because they got what? They got automation. They got robotism to take these people's place. So they're going to blame it on the pandemic, right? People won't get shots. We scared of catching the virus, so that they can institute what they've been talking about for the last, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, like I said, 50 years. Like I said, if you watch that movie, you understand, Dinner at 8, that came out about 1931 with Gene Harlow, Wallace Beery, Lionel Barrymore, John Barrymore. You follow me? Marie Kessler. You dig? And if you watch that Dinner at 8, come out about 1931 when Jean Harlow was at the height, when she was like, the Marilyn Monroe, the Raquel Welch of her day. She's the first big screen siren, right? You understand what I mean? Jean Harlow. And at the end of that movie, she's walking in and they go into this dinner that this whole movie, was about. And at the end, they going into this dinner, and her, Marie Dressler and Jean Harlow pulling up the rear. And Jean Harlow got on this low-cut dress all the way down to right above her behind in the back, cut out, and it's tight, like it been sprayed on her, right? And she's talking with Marie Dressler. Marie Dressler, the elderly lady, you know what I mean? She got her spectacles up to her face. And so Jean Harlow mentions to her, say, yeah, I'm reading a book, and Marie Dressler, she like, what? You reading a book? And she said, you reading a book? And Jean Harlow said, oh yeah. She said, and it's all about the future. How they gonna bring in machines gonna take the place of people doing work. And you understand? Now that's 1931. Here it is 2022, almost 100 years later. You understand what I mean? You follow me? You get it? 92 years later, You follow me? And what they talking about? Unemployment expected to keep falling across the U.S. because they got machines. They got automation. They got robotism now. They don't need people. So they don't care if people come back to work or not. Right? They got enough people to do what they want to do and pay them this little chump change. Right? You understand what I'm saying? Okay? Now, because, there's some people we listened to the other day, economists, they're like, what can you do with $15 an hour? You understand? Another economist said, you need to make at least $60 an hour to be able to make it today, with today's prices and whatnot. You need to be making at least $60 an hour. Now, how many people making that? Okay? Also, judge orders new talks in Purdue Pharma case, opioid lawsuits against Sackler's company on hold as deal being reworked. Okay, so maybe the Sackler's going to try to add another billion or $2 billion to the pot to keep from getting prosecuted. See if these states will go for it. Because like I said, how much money they make? $100 billion selling these drugs through the year? $200 billion? See? Because they secretly, when they saw this coming, they started moving their money out here like I read earlier, right? Moving into these offshore accounts, hiding the money. And then they're going to claim, Purdue Pharma going to claim bankruptcy. Give me a break. You know what I mean? They done made maybe $100, $200 billion through the years. Tell you, man. The real drug dealers. Also, airlines cancel more U.S. flights. Okay? People on their holidays, now they stuck, right? Also, pipeline carries controversy. Opposed by U.S. and others, Russian project faces hurdles amid Ukraine tensions. You understand? Because the Illuminati Edomite over here, or at least that's what they portraying. He done got, you understand, Germany and whatnot to not let this stream 2, the gas from Russia stream, the pipeline 2, what they call it, streamline 2, something like that. They ain't letting no gas come over there. Germany said they don't know they ain't gonna buy gas. You understand what I mean? Keep the nonsense going, the dialectic going, right? Also, Jews scrambles to contain spread of bird flu. Now, this is coming out of Jerusalem, right? Israelis are acting to contain a severe outbreak of bird flu that has already led to mass culling of infected poultry and has caused the deaths of about 5,000 migratory cranes in a popular nature reserve in the north of the country. Okay, say the fear, the ministry said, was that gunshots from bird hunters could cause the wild birds to fly off to other locations, spreading the disease, which it said could also be spread by contaminated car tires, on hunters' vehicles, or on the soles of their shoes, or by the dogs retrieving their prey. Officials have also warned of the danger of the transmission of bird flu from animals to humans, which could be deadly. No such cases have been recorded in Israel. The first signs of the outbreak came about 2 months ago, according to the Ministry of Environmental Protection, with infections cropping up in chicken and turkey farms in different areas of the country. Now, it says the Edomites Ministry of Agriculture, Rural Development, ODED 4, said about 600,000 chickens had been culled. He said that would mean a shortfall of 15 million eggs per month over the next few months, and that the department was working to import millions of eggs. Okay, so now again, okay, 4 blamed the outdated, overcrowded chicken coops that he said were common in Israel for the severity of the outbreak of the virus. So the Edomites eating chicken and chicken eggs, which again, if they was really Israel and about the law, they wouldn't be eating anyway. We didn't talk about that. Yah's revealed that, you understand, through y'all righteousness years ago. Because you still got many Israelites here who wake at the fact that Israel still eating chicken, still eating turkey, and still eating chicken eggs. That don't understand these things are hybrids and unclean. That's why you don't see them in the law, because you understand they're hybrids. They didn't exist. Again, as I've said in the past, that's why y'all got what he's got in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 25. He's supposed to discern between the clean and the unclean, right? And the righteous and the wicked. All right, so now these Edomites, you understand, is putting this forth, right? That you're not supposed to, you understand? I mean, or they got this bird flu over there. Because again, they've been shooting the people up, as I just read earlier, with talking about a 4th vaccine. So they inseminating the virus into people with these vaccine shots, like they doing everywhere else they can, right? And so now when the people start coming down more with some kind of, virus, right? They want to blame it on is the bird flu. But at the same time, I'm not doubting that they put some of these stuff in these different chickens and turkeys, because a few years back when I talked about, you understand, and showed the picture that on the turkey farm, they had thousands of turkeys had died, supposedly from a virus. So these unclean things carry these things, right? So you eating this garbage in worship of your holidays, right? Thanksgiving, Xmas, right? So you getting this stuff in you. Besides possibly you taking the shot. See, because they can't inseminate this into clean things, only into the unclean things. And even the unclean things, when they put this stuff in them, they die off initially, but after a period of time, they probably acclimate to it. They can carry you, eat it, you got it in you. See, but these are only the unclean things that can carry that stuff, which we're not supposed to be eating anyway. See? Chicago Tribune, December the 30th, right? In Paris, food costs are rising even for the humble baguette. Okay, see now, you see that? Huh? You follow? See, because again, you understand the French franc is collapsing too. Well, it's not even French franc, it's the euro. It's collapsing too. See? Again, that's the collapse of the fiat currency. Inflation, right? Chicago Tribune, December the 30th. Maxwell guilty in sex abuse case. Jury finds socially groomed teenage victims for Epstein. She was the madam, in other words, right? So she got convicted. But like I said, she's still yet to see what's going to really happen. Also, toxic mix. Animal sedative opioids. Tranquilizers makes way into illicit drugs, raising risk to users. Okay? Now it says this Brooke Goodwin came home one night last March after being out with friends. She had just turned 23 the day before, had a good job, and was planning to go away with friends the following weekend. Her mother, whose bedroom is next door to the kitchen, heard her daughter get some food and go to bed, but Brooke never came downstairs the next day. Her older sister found her in her room. Brooke had overdosed on a toxic mix of powerful opioid fentanyl cut with xylazine and an animal sedative that is making its way into the illicit drug supply, particularly in the Northeast. So again, like my man told me, they ain't got no heroin out here now. They got fentanyl, and then they got some animal sedative, that they cutting in some of these places. Okay, and that's her mother, right, standing at her grave. Right? So she had a mix of fentanyl and an animal sedative, xylazine or something. You know what I mean? This is the young folks, cause they just doing stuff today. You know what I mean? They don't care. They want to get high. They get overdosing, huh? Chicago Sun-Times, January 1st. Colorado residents returned to find charred homes. I knew you heard about that. Over 1,000 homes burned up out there in Colorado. This is out of Superior, Colorado. Huh? They had that fire out there that we don't know if they put some beam on them, because some homes was burnt to a crisp, some wasn't touched. Right? But it's over 1,000 homes burned up. Okay? That's the last total I saw. Because in this article they say 500, over 500, but the last total I saw, it was over 1,000 nice, and a lot of them nice homes burn up. Okay, in Colorado. And also, airlines won't delay a 5G rollout near airports. You see that? They want a delay on that because it's gonna mess with the radar. You follow me? I tell you, but the 5G is coming and it's going to have an effect, right? Especially these people with the metal chips in them, that's been inseminated in them. Chicago Tribune, January 1st. Fires ravaged communities in Colorado. Over 500 homes lost, thousands flee, wind-driven flames. Look at that. And like I said, the last total I saw is over 1,000. Okay? See? Worshiping their idols, and Yah brought that fire. However it came on them, it's still Yah. You follow me? Chicago Sun-Times, January 1st. Here's this brother Sam Jones. Used to play for the Boston Celtics back there when they was winning all of the championships in professional basketball. He played with Bill Russell. You follow me? And his brother K.C. Jones. Sam Jones just transitioned. Okay? He was 88 years old. And the reason why I pulled this article, now he won 10 NBA championships. The only person got more rings than him is Bill Russell, okay, who he played with. Now, championship rings, right? Now, check what Sam Jones said. He said, "We never flew first class in my 12 years of playing basketball." Now, they win in championships every year, and cheap Red Auerbach, or the Boston Celtics, and whoever was the owner, too cheap to let them to have a plane for them to fly first class. He said they never flew first class in all the years he played, 12 years he played, right? He said, but we always won NBA championships. Now, the Celtics was the first NBA team to put out, an all-Israelite team on the floor at once. Because the unwritten rule back then, they say in the article, every team had to have at least one Caucasian on it, whether he could play or not. Okay? Whether he could play good as them brothers or not, right? But the Boston Celtics, you understand, because Red Auerbach, that Edomite, he wanted to win so bad, he put the best ones out there. And he had the first all so-called African-American black team on the court playing at once. You understand what I mean? And so Sam Jones, he says, you understand? Now check this out. Sam Jones, a North Carolina native who served 2 years in the Army before returning to college, told the AP, the press, right, that the NBA of the 1960s was little different than the segregated South where he grew up and went to school. He said, quote, "I'm fighting for the freedom of everybody here in the United States, and when I come back, I still got to fight for my freedom," Jones said. "Something is wrong with that, and has always been and is happening even today." Now, that's why I brought that out about him, what he said. He for real. You follow me? Because it reminded me of what I talked about, that James Montgomery, the lawyer here in Chicago. He's like he's around near 90 years old. Okay, and when he said this a few years ago, he was about 84. You understand? And he just came out with that book. And the name of the book is Full Circle. And he was back there with Thurgood Marshall trying them cases. You understand? He was one of Thurgood Marshall's lawyer, helping him try them cases back there in the 50s. And so James Montgomery said when he was asked on this Muslim show here a few years, about no more than about 3 years ago, right? And he had just come out with the book Full Circle. And he said he said it's worse, we got it worse now than we did back in the 50s and the 60s. Now that's a heck of a statement, right? Now when I say that, see, because like as I said before, you understand, the Muslims who show it was who's transitioned, he's died in the last couple of years. He died a couple of years ago, Menir Muhammad. And he said, well, you've done all right, haven't you, Jane? And Montgomery looked at him and he said, yeah, I've done all right. He said, he said, you understand? It's been more of a struggle for him, you understand what I mean? Because he's Israelite. He don't know that. You understand? But he looking at it from the standpoint he black. And James Montgomery is light complected. Okay? But he said, but we got it worse now than we did back then. We in a worse position as a people now, and this was like 2019, than we were back in the 50s. Now, when I say that, all you out there, right, whether you're knowledgeable of the book or not, you understand, just go to Leviticus chapter 26 and read that chapter when I say that. For all of you who looking for signs, right? Just go to Leviticus 26 and read that chapter and see what Yah says he's going to do to Israel if Israel refuses to return unto him. Okay? Chicago Tribune, January 1st. U.S. accelerates its probes of fires in Hyundais and Kia engines. Okay, so Hyundai and Kia engines is catching fire. Sword on the chariots. You remember chapter 50. Sword on the chariots. For those who's looking for signs. And when I say that, I know particularly it's a brother out there when I say that, because he was in on that conversation yesterday. I know he laughing. He gonna be more laughing when he hear me say this. You understand what I'm saying? In regards to this other brother who, he talking about he looking for a sign, right? But he's supposed to be reading the book and understanding what he reads. Chicago Tribune, January 1st. West Bank slayings. Israeli troops shot and killed a knife-wielding Palestinian man as he ran toward a bus, stopping an attempted stabbing attack in the occupied West Bank on Friday. See, again, this is another one of the so-called Palestinians who's really an Israelite, who's in more likely Islam or Christianity. And the pressure got to him, and he couldn't take it. And the Edomites attacking him over there every day. We don't really read about that. You follow me? Because they don't print that in this controlled media that we've got. But that's what's been going on since 1948, and it's exacerbated. Again, when I say that, just go to Leviticus 26 and read that chapter, or think about that chapter, what Yah says there about what he's going to do to Israel if Israel refuses to return unto him and obey. Chicago Tribune, December 31st, easing U.S. Catholic clergy shortage. See? So again, you understand? They bring some of these Hamites over here. You understand? They put them in the Catholic Church and make them bishops and cardinals and mess like that Tutu that just died. Right? You follow me? Promulgating Catholicism, Christianity, you understand, idolatry. So they bring them over here to, you understand, to get more people of color to coming up into them houses of idol worship, to worship the idol, right? Check this out. Africa is the Catholic Church's fastest growing region. There, the seminaries are fairly full, said the Reverend Thomas Gaunt, director of Georgetown University's Center for Applied Research in the Apostolic, right, which conducts research about the Catholic Church. It's different in the U.S., where the Catholic Church faces hurdles in recruiting homegrown clergy following decades of declining church attendance and the damaging effects of widespread clergy sex abuse scandals. Catholic women and married men remain barred from the priesthood. Arguments that lifting those bans would ease the shortage have not gained traction with the top leadership. You follow me? See? So that's why they bring these, people of color over here trying to entice, definitely us, to coming into the Catholic Church. You follow me? Because many have left, and many Caucasians too, from the sex scandals and everything and all the other scandals going on in the Catholic Church that Yah has revealed, right? Since he's been lifting himself up, definitely, but it started even before that, right? Not only here in America, but across the earth, right? Chicago Sun-Times, January 2nd, official, nearly 1,000 structures destroyed in Colorado wildfire. You hear that? It is. Okay? And January 3rd, Chicago Tribune, vaccine mandate starts for cities' bars, restaurants. Customers must show proof before dining or drinking indoors. Now that's here in Chicago. Okay? Vaccine mandate starts for the city. See, they're trying to force people to take these shots. Okay? Now, here's another. Chicago Sun-Times, January 5th. That's the date. Vax mandate for large employers isn't about workplace safety. Last week, Anthony Fauci, President Joe Biden's top infectious disease advisor, said the federal government should consider requiring that domestic air travelers be vaccinated against COVID-19. When you make vaccinations a requirement, he explained, that's another incentive to get more people vaccinated. Although requiring vaccination of airline passengers ostensibly would be aimed at making air travel safer, Fauci sees it as a way to boost the U.S. vaccination rate. The Biden administration sees its vaccination rule for private employers, which ostensibly is aimed at addressing a workplace hazard, the same way. The contrast between that broader goal and the legal justification for the employer mandate is at the center of the debate about whether the Occupational Safety and Health Administration has the authority to impose it. That debate comes to the Supreme Court on Friday, when the justices will consider whether the mandate should be blocked until the challenges to it are resolved. Well, more likely than not, you understand, they're going to vote in favor. See, because they're under control. I just read that in that 10th protocol. You follow me? Right? They control the president, they control the Senate, and all the other departments of government. Not only in America, but in other countries. Okay? Now, check this out. Yada just handed me this last night because I missed it when I went through it. popular Apple AirTags used as a high-tech stalking tool. On a Sunday night in September, Ashley Estrada, and again, this is out of the Chicago Tribune, January 4th. Ashley Estrada was at a friend's home in Los Angeles when she received a strange notification on her iPhone. AirTag detected near you. An AirTag is a 1.26-inch disc with location tracking capabilities that Apple started selling last year as a way to keep track of your stuff. Estrada 24 didn't own one, nor did the friend she was with. The notification on her phone said the AirTag had first been spotted with her 4 hours earlier. A map of the AirTag's history showed the path Estrada had driven across the city while running errands. You hear that? I felt so violated, she said. Estrada is not alone. In recent months, people have posted on TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter about finding AirTags on their cars and in their belongings. There is concern that the devices may be abetting a new form of stalking, which privacy groups predicted could happen when Apple introduced the devices in April. The New York Times spoke with 7 women who believed they were tracked with AirTags, including a 17-year-old whose mother placed one on her car to stay apprised of her whereabouts. Some authorities have begun to take a closer look at the threat posed by AirTags. The West Seneca Police Department in New York recently warned its community of the tracking potential of the devices after an AirTag was found on a car bumper. Apple complied with a subpoena for information about the AirTag in the case, which may lead to charges. And in Canada, a local police department said that it had investigated 5 incidents of thieves placing AirTags on high-end vehicles so that they can later locate and steal them. Researchers believe AirTags, which are equipped with Bluetooth technology, could be revealing a more widespread problem of tech-enabled tracking. They emit a digital signal that can be detected by devices running Apple's mobile operating system. Those devices then report where an AirTag was last seen. Unlike similar tracking products from competitors such as Tile, Apple added features meant to prevent abuse, including notifications like the one Estrada received and automatic beeping. Tile plans to release a feature to prevent the tracking of people this year, a spokesperson for that company said. Apple does not disclose sales figures, but the $29 AirTags have proved popular, selling out consistently since their unveiling. An Apple spokesman, Alex Kirshner, said in a statement that the company takes customer safety very seriously and is committed to AirTag's privacy and security. Police could ask Apple to provide information about the owner of the AirTag potentially identifying the culprit. But some of the people who spoke with the Times were unable to find the AirTags they were notified of and said police do not always take reports of the notification on their phones seriously. Estrada, who got the notification while in Los Angeles, eventually found the quarter-sized tracker lodged in a space behind the license plate of her 2020 Dodge Charger. She posted a video of her ordeal on TikTok, which went viral. Estrada said she was told by a Los Angeles police dispatcher that her situation was a non-emergency and that if she wanted to file a report, she'd have to bring the device with her to the station in the morning. She didn't want to wait and dispose of it after taking several photos. A spokesperson for the Los Angeles police told the Times that the department had not heard of cases in which an AirTag had been used to track a person or a vehicle. But Estrada said that after she posted her TikTok video an Apple employee acting on their own contacted her. The employee was able to connect the AirTag to a woman whose address was in central LA. In June, after concerns about stalking were raised, Apple pushed in updated AirTags to cause them to start beeping within a day of being away from their linked devices, down from 3 days. A person who doesn't own an iPhone might have a harder time detecting an unwanted AirTag. AirTags aren't compatible with Android smartphones. Last month, Apple released an Android app that can scan for AirTags, but you have to be vigilant enough to download it and proactively use it. And again, this is a picture of the AirTag. Now that's what's going on. Okay? And see, I might have to go through my whole building here and my vehicles to see if there's AirTags around us. Okay. Q&A to follow for Yah Righteousness, Jerusalem, and the Holy Seed. Yah bless. Peace.